back on site. Gonna install a culvert today, just with a skid steer. As I mentioned in previous videos, if you haven't seen it in the previous video, I mean, this property really doesn't need a culvert, because you look at the property up here, everything's running this way, and there's no drainage ditch. Now you look on this side of the property, or this side of the road, excuse me, and you see the drainage ditch and how they got a culvert, and everything runs the way it should, and the town comes and cleans it out and makes everything nice again. There's nothing on this side, which doesn't mean they're not going to, now that this is going to be a piece of residential property. It was just vacant woods. So we have to put the culvert in, and then the town probably will trench this side. Not sure yet, but that's the task at hand today. We'll box out a portion of this driveway so I can get my load of stone over the top of it, or crusher run, shale. Don't know what we're using. We're going to go to the local pit, see what they got. But here's the homeowner marked the driveway. We kind of laid it out before when we cleared this property. And if you didn't see this property beforehand, check out the videos. I rented a mulcher head and tore this place up. It was thick vines all the way. You couldn't even walk through it. It was a wall of brush. It was an awesome video. Check it out. I got real good footage of the mulcher in action, and we mulched this whole thing down. So the house is going to go back there by the pines. The ribbons are the center mark of the driveway. Driveway is going to be about 14 feet. Fabric's 12.5. We like to cover it a little bit on each side. So today we are just going to put the culvert in and come about right to here. We'll load a crusher run and cover everything up, and then we'll start boxing this out and blowing in the driveway. Got the root rake on hand, root rake, grapple, rock bucket, whatever you want to call it. It's on the trailer, and what we're going to do is just de-root this place, take 6 inches out of it, box it out, fabric and driveway material. Take some of these bigger logs and put them over and hide them for now on the side of the property. Out of the way, out of sight, out of mind. Test the new grapple. Just set them over here next to this stump. We'll just make a little pile here. Homeowner can burn it. Cut it up. I know he burns wood, so figure it out at that time. Trying to get used to the controls with this grapple. Obviously there's tips and tricks like any thumb attachment, and with the toggle switch, which direction it is. Come on now. Give this a try. That'll work. get a first bite here. Take this overburden off, and there's a lot of obviously root matter in the ground from when we mulched it. We'll just get things stripped a bit. Got some hard ground there. Skid steer. Obviously, in a perfect world, mini excavators the best because you got to cut the depth in. But I'm pretty impressed the way this is cutting through the ground right now. And I got some rocks here. The teeth on this really help. I'm pretty impressed the way this is going so far. I mean, obviously been only in it 10 minutes, but I mean, I smashed it and was twisting it up and hitting things, and I don't know, seems to be okay. So we're getting this boxed out. Like I said, this driveway will just be boxed out about 6 inches just to get all the roots and the overburden, and then we'll go right over it with fabric and the material. Take out more than you need, and the initial part of the driveway will help you in the long run. You always want to flare your ends anyways. Come on. Got a tricky transition coming off the road, steep. Got my pile of nice overburden here, which will be great compost. Gonna utilize that over here in the low spot. There's some low spongy spots. We'll just lose it in the grove, we'll call it. We'll call it the grove. Alright, now we're gonna dig for the culvert. here. 12-inch culvert, roughly you want to be 18 inches of material, or depth I mean, so you have 6 inches minimum over the top of it. Just gonna get this broke up and then I can put my other bucket on, and it's got the tilt on it, which will help. There's a nice rock. There's a nice rock for the rock bucket. We'll set that aside for now. We'll use that. We'll use that somewhere. Just cleaning up my edging before I get out of the machine and take some measurements. The laser set on the trailer, Spectra lasers, LL400 self-leveling. So there's my height. Got to make sure I at least got 18 inches in the bottom. We got 22, so that's good. I'm just gonna clean this up, clean it up, and we got our depth. You at least minimum want 6 inches above that culvert. And we're fighting elevations here. Like I said, this isn't the best scenario for a culvert. I mean, you see there's no ditching over here, like I showed previously. And there's no ditching here. So we're just gonna create water to come in this culvert, and basically it's gonna stop right here until the town decides to ditch the rest of this out, which they have the elevation to do it. Don't get me wrong, if this road falls off pretty good, and it looks like the next homeowner has a ditch, so it will collect here. And you know, by code, you got to have a culvert even if you don't need one. So we're gonna clean this up. I'm gonna switch buckets out. I got the depth. That rock bucket's working good. You see all them rocks in there that have been really tough without them teeth. Pretty happy with it so far. I have those bigger trees. I was like this, had those in the grapple, and I was getting hung up in the other trees because they were like 40 feet wide, and I was twisting the heck out of that system. And so far, pretty sturdy, because I've seen these grapples like this, bent all different directions. All right, there's my 20-foot mark. Just stick it past it a little bit. Make sure she's bedded nice where there's no, if you jump on it like this, it doesn't go up and down. Get that bottom true the way I did. And always have your dirt a little higher, especially if you're doing a creek crossing. You want it down in so it doesn't undermine it, but there's not going to be some substantial water here. But culvert a little bit lower so it could flow in. I always use and backfill with the natural material and tuck it before you put stone on it, especially in creeks, because water will go on the sides of this and underneath it, and next thing you know, your culvert's floating. So one other point is flash it, have it going the right way. The bell end should have the flow of the water going into it. That way if they ever extend this, it's flashed, and it's the way it is. That's just the way it goes. Just checking my measurements to make sure I got the height over the top. 7 inches right there, so that's good. And I did shoot it, you know, on this crusher run up here, which is still 2 inches low from the road, so y'all plenty. Because we're gonna come flat off before we start to taper. You don't want to come off the road at a super angle, because what it does is gives you a bad transition and it twists the vehicle up. Harder in the winter, harder everything. So when you come to a road, you want to keep it kind of flat. You know what I mean? Don't go like this. Even if you're off a hill, I try to give that good 10 foot of flat, 10, 15 foot, just so your tires could get a better transition. Because once you get out onto the road, then the back tires are down, causes issues. Also, leave the culvert off the road. Don't dig your trench right along this road. Leave it off the road, give them the room to get the water going out that way. Just as they ditched over here, you see there's a shoulder before the ditching. There's always a strip of land. Never put the culvert there. You see on that driveway, the culvert is on the left of that garbage can, quite a ways in. So this is the perfect placement here, and we are going to tuck it and pin it right now with the natural soil. Notice how the culvert is ranging elevation with the road. Always keep the two. If the road was like this, we would tip the culvert more. So if your road is like this, or your road's like this, and your culvert's like this, you see these are the same elevation, parallel plane, whatever you want to call it. But keep that in mind also. Use that as a reference. All right, it's all pinned up by hand, and if there's rocks, always put them on the ends like this. We're fortunate we had some rocks here, and that's gonna help you. Sometimes we do it after we put the stone, but if you could do it before, it's gonna actually hold the ends down, and then your stone goes against it, and then you don't have to shovel stone out to place these. So get your rocks all around it, and it will make life a lot easier. And as you see, you try to divert the rocks where the water's coming in at angles like this, in case we do get flash floods. It hits this and it doesn't erode it. And once that's all done, it will look pretty. All right, just take your existing material. Like I said, it acts as a water plug. Go over the top of the culvert at an angle like this. You get on both sides. Bridge it like this. My machine's got some serious reach because of the tilt bucket, gives it that extra few inches. Pull that road back to it like that. Now again, that road is rock hard right there. It's all crusher run and road base. I already dug into it, so I know we're good on that end. Just pulling this back down, and that will give us serious amounts of depth for stone. Nice. Just smooth out your box out for your driveway, because once you dump that stone, it's done. Nice pit right here. Look at that big excavator up on that ledge, huh? Some serious drop off right there. perfect culvert placement with the stone, half and half. A little tricky in there, you know, you got to drop the wheels. And let's get this off and spread in here. Take the other half of it off, or it's probably less than half on the truck, and we'll get it in and boxed in. Well, they don't have gravel at that pit, just all crusher run and stuff like this. So Dave, you're getting a better driveway. We're going to go the whole distance with this material. Some driveways, you know, you put a basic gravel in and then top it with 4 inches of this, but in this case we couldn't. Always when you cross the culvert, it's going to be the thickest point coming off a driveway. This is actually a good transition. A lot of driveways you got to dump 2 loads just to get into the driveway. All right, there's the rest of the load. Gonna hit up some lunch, come back, move that debris, and start boxing out. Just after lunch, gonna knock this stuff down a little bit. Tell you, the truck didn't even sink at all on that crusher run. It's not even compacted. So this stuff is awesome. Leave it a little high off the road above that culvert for now. I'm gonna give it that transition off the road, make sure that's good. Alright, just on a couple of last pass tune-ups here, angle the bucket, get that edge to our correct width. All right, all feathered out to our right width, 14 feet, 2 flared ends to get out on the road. Got a little rock wall going here, and like I said, this ain't done. This is just to blow it in, and we will it's all going to get wrecked with dump trucks and stuff. So next step is to cut, see those center flags all the way down, cut 7 foot on each side of them. We're gonna go like this and then do a slight, I mean, where he's got them laid out, we're just gonna have a slight S in there, which is nice. It's gonna be nice. Perfecto. All right, guys, this was a culvert installation with a skid steer. No mini. You can do them with a skid steer. You know, obviously every project is different. Some you can't do if you're on a huge incline, but or it has to go super deep. But just a regular, this was a 12-inch, and it worked out perfect. Thumbs up, hit that like button. The like button's the thumbs up now. I'll catch you guys. Thanks.